Hello everyone and welcome back to more Fruit of Grisaia. In the last episode, we tried to teach Makina how to ride a bicycle. We were kind of harsh with her training, and Amane was all like, you shouldn't do that, that's horrible, you should be more considerate towards your daughter. And we were like, hey, are you gonna be like the mom in this family? I mean, is that what you want to do? And she was like, yeah, I guess. So, yeah, that's how that went. So, report card time. Are you all happy? Wait, how do you think we did? Probably pretty well. We're pretty smart. In a somewhat theatrical gesture, the princess taps a stack of thick, neatly folded paper against her lectern to align their edges, then surveys the classroom with a big smile plastered on her face. As she calls out our names one by one, everyone comes to the platform in turn and accepts their card respectively. But there's quite a range of expressions on our faces as we do so. Sakaki takes her card indifferently, apparently either unconcerned or just uninterested. Amane receives hers with a vaguely apprehensive expression, her brows slightly furrowed. Michiru, not even attempting to hide her revulsion, grimaces as though she's just had a slimy snake dropped in her hand. Makina grins from ear to ear like an undernourished child taking chocolate from a GI in a jeep. Makina's so adorable, isn't she? Sachi bows deeply, strongly resembling a white-collared worker accepting a business card from the chief executive of a major client. And finally, I take mine with the studied nonchalance of a grunt taking his new posting for the latter half of his term from the division commander. But when you get a report card handed to you, it's only human to be curious about the contents. And as we look over our evaluations, there's another wave of varied reactions around the classroom. She seems pleased. Sakaki glances over her report card without so much as twitching her eyebrow. Looks as though the results are exactly what she anticipated. Apparently, something in Amane's hit a little too close to home, judging from her wry smile and the way she's playing with her hair. A hard, indigestible chunk of pitiless reality forced down her throat. Michiru does her best to fight back a rising tide of gastric juices.
No way.
Her euphoria of only a few moments ago completely gone. Makina scowls at her card and mumbles, seriously, man? In a deploring tone of voice. Clearly finding the result she wanted inside, Sachi nods deeply in silence, and softly claps her hands together in a round of applause for herself. As for my report card, on the 5-letter scale from A to F, I'm almost entirely in the B range. The only exceptions are 2 A's in physical fitness and science, and 2 C's in social etiquette and personal conduct. I'm initially a little nonplussed at the mediocre personal conduct grade, given that I don't smoke, gamble, or drink, but after reading the brief comment scribbled in a red pen, to wit, the heroic act is nice, but if you're not careful, your treatment of the opposite sex is going to cause you a lot of grief. I have to admit, I more or less understand where they're coming from. In fact, this isn't the first time I've been written up for problematic habits regarding women. My employer routinely has superiors put together departmental evaluations, commonly used as references for your next posting or attempts at career advancement. They're pretty thorough documents, running through your academic progress and personal conduct, covering your results of all sorts of inspections and opinions on your overall suitability as an employee. But when the superior writing the report happened to be a female, let alone JB, there would always be at least one angry scribble to the effect of serious issues with women, invariably punctuated with an exclamation mark. I mean, it's not like I'm a playboy or misogynist. If anything, my co-workers ridiculed me as an introvert, and I always endeavor to be considerate towards women. But for some reason, my attitude seems to be frequently misinterpreted.
はい。それではこれで1学期の授業はすべて終了となります。明日からの夏休みには実家に帰省される方や寮に残留される方もおられるでしょうが、皆さん各自目標を立てて計画的に過ごしてください。起立。
Stand. I'm sitting, thank you. At Sachi's ceremonial command, everyone stands up at once. At the bow command, we all lower our heads and shout, thank you very much. The principal offers us a nod and a brief, yes, I'll see you next semester, then leaves the classroom. I thought this sort of bowing and scraping was an elementary and middle school thing, but I guess our attitude towards learning is a little different here. Or maybe the ceremony itself carried a different nuance at my old schools.
ねえ、パパ、私の通知表を見て。
Let's see here. Smiling from ear to ear, Makina thrust her report card in my face as if to smash it against my nose. I pull my head back so I can actually get a look. Makina's card consists of a large border with a vivid red cherry blossom design framing the words, "Let's try a little harder," in huge bold letters. Underneath that stamp, there's a brief comment that seems to have written by the principal herself. Receptivity to the influence of others is proof of a curious mind, but please make an effort to acquire a little more common sense. Start by working on your manner of speaking. So I'm not the only one who earned an exclamation mark. Oh, isn't this something? Makina's bizarre mode of speech isn't anything new, but the principal has a point. It's not going to fly if the girl goes out into the world and tries to get a job. And that's not the only problem. Just from my casual observations, her handwriting's sloppy and she's terrible with her chopsticks. In many small but significant ways, she's lacking in the skills expected of a normal member of society. Hey, I can't use chopsticks at all, so can't really comment. Apparently I am not a normal member of society. But acquiring common sense is easier said than done when you're spending all your time in an isolated school like this. That's also true. When you only have a handful of people to socialize with on a day-to-day basis, well, it becomes hard to kind of gain a lot of social etiquette. Common sense and the lack thereof are concepts that exist only in relation to your environment. What's she supposed to learn from a guy with the C in social etiquette? What not to do? That said, looking around the room, I can't find a single person who doesn't exhibit a severe lack of common sense. I think I'm developing a suffocate.
ちょっと、それは聞き捨てならないわね。私はこれでも一応、周囲からは美浜の常識人として認められているつもりなんだけど。
Are you sure about that?
何がよ。
Let me pose you a hypothetical question, if I will. If Makina were to go out in the world and conduct herself just as you have, what would people think of her? For example, if they observed Makina declaring her love at first sight for some man she didn't even know, then proceeding to rub her chest against him while snorting roughly through her nose, would they accept it as normal?
それは、だって。
I'm pretty sure they would pin her as a horny, slightly dim-witted Lolita type. I like how Makina is just smiling while we're talking. And while this might very well meet with enthusiastic, tearful approval of a certain minority given the particular tastes, could you really call any society that accepts such a viewpoint as common sense anything but pathologically abnormal?
確かにまあ、その。
You know, Amane, my friend, it's extremely easy to delude ourselves into believing we possess this common sense and everyone else doesn't. But remember, no one shouts, "I don't get drunk," quite so confidently as an alcoholic. For example, while I'm currently talking down to you like my shit doesn't stink, on objective exclamation, I am forced to admit that I have no right whatsoever to lecture anyone about common sense.
なんかよくわかんねえけど、とりあえず腹減ったから、続きは飯食いながら話さねえ。まあ、常識云々はさておき、まずはこの言葉遣いから何とかしてあげないとね。
We need to refine her into a lady of society. I'm with you there. Japanese is an unusually difficult language, or if you prefer, a tongue uniquely rich in expressive power. And spending a lot of time overseas as a child can leave you thinking in a foreign language. Even when speaking Japanese, you end up translating foreign words in your head on the fly as you talk, a process that supposedly makes it very easy to badly manage your syntax and grammar, but still. When you're this far gone, I sort of feel like the language you're thinking in might not be the fundamental issue.
ビネガーは分かったから、ムキになってサラダにドレッシングをビシャビシャかけるのやめなさいって。
From time immemorial, it's been said that an army marches on its stomach, or more to the point, first feed the face, then talk right and wrong. Accordingly, we decide to sat Makina's hunger before attempting to preach about decorum and such, and spread out our lunchboxes on the roof together. Having set the stage, I was just wondering how to broach our subject when Amane's homemade apple vinegar dressing suffered Makina's bad boy vinegar explosion. Knocked off track before we could even begin, Amane and I glanced at each other and heaved quiet but heartfelt sighs. Should be easy enough to understand the full force of this girl's destructive power from the fact that neither of us can even work up the energy to retort. Are you the balsamic boogeyman now? Hey Mane, maybe we should just forget common sense entirely and focus on teaching the girl proper Japanese.
その件に関しては私も前から気になってて、マキナがおかしなこと言うたびに注意してるんだけど、なかなか治らないのよね。失敬だなお前ら。私だって敬語ぐらい話せるのよ。
First I've heard of it. Alright then, kindly demonstrate your best polite conversation.
急に会話してみろと申されましても、一体何についてお話しすればよろしいのでしょうか？おお、なんかそれっぽい。
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that.
だろ？敬語ってつまりあれな。
Ain't no
そっちの真
thing.
似してりゃいいんだべ。
Jeez. Oh, that didn't last long. What happened to the polite language, Makina?
すみません。私としたことがお恥ずかしいところを。何についてお話しすれば？そうね。じゃあ、なんか思いついたことを適当に。適当にですか？では、そうですね。昨日の夜、ベッドで寝ていた時の話なんですけれど、私、腕のここのところを蚊に刺されてしまいまして、もう、かゆくてかゆくて。でも、引っかいてかき崩してしまうと、あまねさんに怒られますので、こう、親指の爪でバッテン印をつけたんです。そこで私、ふと思いつきまして、そのバッテン印にさらにバッテンを重ねてアスタリスクにして、思わず叫んだのです。あると。
Oh, wow. Oh my god, the build up to that story. Ooh, boy.
そうしたら、あまねさんがものすごい
Amane's face
形
is like, oh
相
my
でやっ
god.
てきて、私の頭を叩くんですよ。とんでもない暴力女です。手に負えません。
She's turning it around on Amane, like Amane's the bad guy here. That was a lovely story. Hey, Amane.
なに？
I'm starting to think this girl's issues might go deeper than just her language skills.
あら、奇遇。実は私もたった今、同じことを考えてたわ。
We gotta fix her. She's broken. In the first place, if that's really supposed to be an imitation of Sashi, you're completely off base.
お？そんじゃ、もう少し寄せてみるのよさ。おはようございます。
Whoa. So similar. Wait, what the hell? Is that her?
ぶっちゃけみちる様はムカつきます。うどんで首つって死ねばいいのにって毎日思ってます。
Okay, that's creepy. Definitely sounds like her, but that's awful. What's wrong with you?
ちなみに、チルチルの真似もできるのよ。
Okay, let's see it.
ちょっとユージ、大変よ。
What's wrong with you?
お腹が痛くてトイレに行ったんだけど、そしたらマッコから血が止まらないの。
Wow.
私って病
Crap, not only does she have the voice down cold, it sounds like a line a girl might say.
気？いや、それはいくらなんでもみちるがかわいそうでしょう。
What else have you got?
どうして私がそんなことをしなければいけないのかしら。
It's Sakiki!
くだらないわ。本当にくだらない人間ね、あなた。どうせこの先生きていたっていいことなんて一つもないのは目に見えているのだから、とっととへそかんで死になさいな。
I don't know about that insult, but man, ice cold. Absurd talent. You're amazing.
そう？なんかこんなんで褒められたの初めてなのよさ。いやー、確かに声は似てるけどさ、さすがの榊さんでもへそかんで死ねはないと思うけどな。
I wondered about this for a while, but I think the girl's foul mouth might be coming from you, Amane. Not to point fingers, Amane.
私？
No, the other Amane. Well, think about it. Hanging yourself with a noodle noodle? Biting your belly button? That's all pure kanzai.
いや、まあそりゃ確かにマキナを叱る時とかたまに関西の言葉が出る時もあるけど、もしかして私のせい？
I'm not really sure where else it would be coming from.
それを言うならさ、マキナが最近平気で下ネタを口にするようになったのはあんたが原因じゃないの？
I won't deny it. I did spend my junior high days in a school that basically scrapped together American bad boys and dropouts after all. I'll admit to having some difficulty moderating my language.
ねえ、アマネ、パンもう一個食べてもいい？そりゃいいけどさ、今あんたのこと話してんだよ。少しは真面目に聞きなさいよ。
Well, what can you do? Maybe the girl's fine just the way she is. She's been sucking up various characteristics from the people around her for a long time now. That's how the Makina we know came to be, right? Doesn't seem like such a bad thing when you look at it that way.
パパはいっつもいいこと言うのよさ。やっぱパパになってもらって正解だったな。
Oh, I'm sorry, I was too busy counting my thousands of yen.
そんなの甘やかしてるだけじゃない？とりあえずマキナの味方をしておけば OK みたいに考えてるならよくないな、そういうの。
I'm not trying to give the girl more approval than she deserves. I'm just saying I think she might still be undergoing the process of osmosis.
私にも分かるように説明してもらえると助かるかな。
It's not like I'm positive myself, really, but I have the feeling Makina's still an impressionable chick. In other words, she's absorbing the coping mechanisms and life strategies of those around her, studying the world so she can figure out how to survive in it. That's a little easier to grasp.
まあ言いたいことは大体わかるけど。
Makina is a girl sponge. I don't know the details. It just seems like the girl was hospitalized for a pretty long time, right?
そうね。6年ぐらい病院にいたから。
6 years in the hospital. Wow. Okay, so what I'm thinking is, spending her formative years in that totally isolated little society made her what she is right now. In that case, instead of arguing back and forth about how to teach her, wouldn't it be more natural to get her out into the real world? I mean, I think the girl needs to be exposed to a wider range of people. What are your thoughts, Amane?
まあね、それが正しいんだろうなってのは理解できるけど、マキナだよ。
Why aren't you just scolding me about being overprotective? If you're thinking I'll just take care of Makina, that's really not good enough.
そうは言っても具体的にどうするのよ。
Well, I think it's my job as Makina's father to come up with the details. At the moment, all I have is a vague plan to start off by helping her obtain new skills one by one.
だから急に自転車の練習とか始めたわけ？
Well, there were some other circumstances involved, but yeah, more or less.
へえ、なんか結構真面目に父親してるんだ。
Well, I think as the ideal father is a man who views giving his children the knowledge they need to survive. That's his most important job. In other words, I want to do for Makina what my master did for me. I won't deny that I'm a little worried about sending Makina out into the world as she is right now. Even so, I think the girl's come a long way from when she'd run away at the first sight of me. Yes, interacting with society will mean increased risks of encountering danger or malice, but that doesn't mean we can't let her stay shut in the school forever. Therefore, even if it requires somewhat strict methods, I want to strengthen her mind until she can cope with any crisis, polish her skills until she can deal with anything that comes her way. There are limits to what I can teach her, of course, but if the girl decides to become a fighter pilot or submarine captain, I won't be much good. But at the very least, I'm confident I can teach her the skills necessary to survive in the jungle for 2 weeks with the bare minimum of equipment.
確かに重要かも、その技術。
That's a surprise. I was expecting you to butt in with, what's the point of learning that stuff in modern Japan, or something at this point.
まあね。でもほら、いざそういった事態に直面した時、確実に役立つ知識ってあるじゃない？そういうのって知っていて無駄になることじゃないしね。
Didn't expect you to agree, but all right. For the time being, I'll teach her to ride a bike, increasing her range of mobility and giving her the chance to get out into the world on her own initiative. I'll see where it goes from there.
いや、おうじゃないでしょ。あんたの話してんだよ。今ユージ結構いい話してたよ。聞いてた？ あー、ごめん。今私パンに夢中で聞いてなかった。
Oh,
なんだって？まったく、あんた本当にパンが好きね。まあな、自慢じゃないが、パンがあれば白いご飯3杯はいけるね。
Amane, my friend, just what are you mixing into this girl's bread?
いや、普通だって。そもそもマキナが普段食べてるパンだって普通に町のパン屋さんで買ってるものだし。
This bread is pretty good, though.
でしょ。なんでも聞いた話じゃ、フランスとドイツで修行した店主が毎日夜中の3時から仕込みを始めて、
I'd love to bake a loaf of bread. I don't know why. That'd be kind of fun.
その日お店に並べる分のパンを石窯で丹念に焼いているそうなのよ。そりゃうまいわけだよ君。
Didn't know there were any bakers that passionate left in this day and age.
うまいパン屋は町の宝なのよ。近所に美味しいパンを焼くお店があるということがどれだけ幸運なことか。
You're pretty passionate yourself.
まあ実際は駅前にある小さなパン屋さんなんだけどさ、地主の次男坊が道楽で始めたようなお店らしくて、採算を無視してこだわってパンを焼いてるみたいなのよね。
See, if you're prioritizing profit, then mechanizing the process is only logical these days, but if you're in a mania as a hobby, I guess the quality is understandable.
私もね、昔はそんなにパンが好きってわけじゃなかったのよ。むしろ病院でパンが出るたびにうげーって言ってたぐらいなのよさ。でもね、ここのお店のパンを初めて食べた時にビビビッときたわけなのよさ。あー、パンって本当はこういう味がするものなんだって。
Jeez, I really like their bread.
もうね、それ以来すっかりパンの虜なのよ。このパンがなかったら私どうやって生きていくんだろうみたいな、なんかもうそんなレベルなのよさ。
Even as she's speaking, Makina snaps up huge bites of a hefty sandwich, lettuce, tomato, onion, salami, and Swiss cheese packed inside a thick baguette. Honestly, this girl's chomping away so blissfully that it's kind of charming in a way. If she enjoys bread this much, maybe working at a bakery would be a rewarding experience. Huh. In that case, Makina, why not try making bread yourself? Ooh, what a novel idea. Having her try to bake bread. That should be an interesting development. And I think I'm going to leave that for the next episode. So, take it easy, everybody. See you in the next episode of Fruit of Grisaia.